I still remember that day as if it were yesterday, leaving the predictability of a secure job behind and embarking on a journey into the unknown. My final day at the San Francisco tech firm was loaded with emotions, a curious blend of nostalgia and excitement brewing within me. Conversations from that day still echo in my ears. The heartfelt farewell speech, the well wishes, the anxious yet hopeful anticipation for the road ahead. I packed up my workspace for the last time, the dog-eared coding books and coffee-stained notepads, constant companions over the years, found their places in a box, next to my heart full of indelible memories. Yet, there was a profound understanding that this was not an ending, but the beginning of a journey that I had only dreamt of, a journey where I could blend my love for technology with a vision to create something meaningful. The office walls I was leaving behind had watched me grow from a fresh graduate with eager eyes to a seasoned professional, but it was time to step out of my comfort zone. Armed with a mix of experience, expertise, and relentless passion, I was ready to explore the untrodden path of entrepreneurship. Sarah was a godsend during this pivotal period. As colleagues turned co-founders, our brainstorming sessions were filled with animated discussions, rapidly sketched diagrams, and countless cups of caffeinated creativity. Our shared enthusiasm fueled us as we hashed out ideas late into the night, excited chatter tapering into thoughtful silence. We were venturing into uncharted territories, and the journey demanded long hours, hard decisions, and sacrifices. That day, as I handed in my keys and walked out of the corporate office for the last time, the San Francisco skyline seemed to take on a different hue. The familiar landscape appeared fresh, as if infused with new possibilities and the promise of intriguing challenges. Each skyline, each winding path, and the rhythmic clatter of the city seemed to echo with the spirited cadence of entrepreneurship and innovation. The last glance at my office building, with its towering presence, was a poignant moment I wished I could frame in memory. Yet every journey begins with a goodbye, and as I navigated the busy Silicon Valley streets, a sense of quiet anticipation filled me. Leaving behind known territories for uncharted waters is a daunting feeling, but as I took one last look at the city that had been my home, I knew that the next chapter was waiting to be written. Upon my entry into Seoul, a city deeply tied to my childhood and heritage, I was inundated with a rush of nostalgia. The sight of local landmarks transported me back to the boy I'd been, a curious child, wide-eyed at the dizzying techno-cultural prowess of my birth city. But now, I was back as a man carrying dreams and responsibilities, ready to utilize this prowess as an entrepreneur. The prospect was thrilling yet daunting, like oscillating between a familiar past and an unpredictable future. Meeting Yunju after all these years was like opening a much-loved book again. The chapters of our childhood echoed in our conversations. Even as we navigated through different phases of our lives, the underlying bond of an old friendship remained untouched, a comforting factor amidst the unknowns. As Seoul's hustle-bustle unfurled around us, those rendezvous moments with Yunju seemed to merge my past and present self, grounding me amidst the whirlwind transformation of my life. My efforts to spell out the entrepreneurial journey soon took me to a local startup event. The pulsating energy, the pooling in of fresh ideas, and the raw hunger for innovation had an infectious allure. It was like being in a living, breathing ecosystem focused on churning fresh ideas into reality, much like what Sarah and I aimed to achieve. I began soaking in the industry insights, jotting mental notes from my interactions, each one a stepping stone towards my entrepreneurial vision. Sprinkled along this journey of exploration were serendipitous intersections of inspiring individuals. Sungmin Lee was one such accident that became a catalyst in my journey. Meeting him solidified my belief in the importance of mentors in our life, the beacon that guides us through uncharted territories. His insightful words helped me shape my ideas better, and above all, he believed in my vision and the capability to actualize it. That's the thing about mentors. They are like mirrors showing you what's possible, subtly chiseling your path in tandem with your vision. The culmination of all these experiences led me to a milestone moment, when I secured Series A funding for my startup. I recall that day vividly, tinged with the satisfaction of a marked validation for my venture, and a buoyant hope for the exciting days ahead. It felt like the universe was aligning its nods in my favor, like a testament to the countless brainstorming hours and the relentless conviction behind the dream. As Sarah and I heralded our little victory, I realized that amidst the chaotic uncertainties of the unknown, it's these flickers of hope that keeps one going. This was just one chapter in a book that was yet to be written. With the beginning of a fresh year marked by the celebration of my 29th birthday with my startup team and friends, we knew we had to start the year by aiming high. Our first product was not just an application of AI, it was the fruition of our collective beliefs, values, and countless hours of labor. The phase leading up to its launch was reminiscent of a fast-paced marathon, punctuated with bouts of elation, doubts, and relentless grind. Remembering the first days of brainstorming with Sarah, when our idea was just an abstract concept, I couldn't help but marvel at how it was now turning into a tangible product. The feeling of seeing it come alive was surreal, as if someone had breathed life into our brainchild. And throughout this whirlpool of emotions, my feelings oscillated between breathless anticipation and nervous excitement. The anticipation of finally getting our product into the hands of users generated an insurmountable thrill. However, the anxiety of whether it would be well received or if it needed more fine-tuning lingered, threatening to overshadow my excitement. On the day of the product launch, I remember arriving at the office early in the morning, anxious and eager for the day ahead. The office buzzed with a vibrant energy, an almost palpable excitement. As our team huddled together, I glanced around at the faces staring back at me with a blend of apprehension and determination. The very people who believed in me and this startup, their unwavering faith was humbling. My mind circled back to the time I gave up my job in San Francisco to create something of my own. Feeling the heavy weight of responsibility, I addressed my team, reminiscing our journey and acknowledging the hard work everyone put into it. Collectively, we pressed the launch button, the same way we had started this venture, together. Simultaneously, we held our breath as our product was now live, accessible to everyone. The room broke into applause as the congratulatory messages started flowing in, and ever so slowly, I let out a sigh of relief. It felt like we had climbed a steep mountain, and now, standing at the peak, we could relish the sight of our achievement. I remember walking up to my office window overlooking Seoul, tracing the outlines of my birth city with a nostalgic eye. This moment wasn't just the culmination of our collective labor, it was also an acknowledgement of our beginnings. After all, the past is not just a trail left behind, it is also the substance from which the present is made. Post-launch, the high-pitched excitement of the previous few days somewhat faded, giving way to a juggle between contentment and constant vigilance. The product was now live, it had started interacting with the world. Every tap, every swipe, every feedback dating back to us was invaluable. I became hyper-aware and highly attuned to the response we were gaining from the users, a kaleidoscope of positive feedback, bug reports, and innovative suggestions scattered across the spectrum. Seeing our creation out in the wild was an experience brimming with a blend of sentiments. Watching how users interacted with our heavy-labored AI transformed the entire journey from an abstract, high-level idea into a practical, hands-on device. To be able to touch, to see, and to experience the product was like listening to the echoes of our synchronized heartbeats as developers and creators. My team and I were in a constant state of anticipation-filled alertness as we waited for reactions, adjusted course based on feedback, and implemented improvements. With every successful interaction, with every problem tackled, it felt like a culmination of what we had started during those initial brainstorming sessions with Sarah in San Francisco. I would often find myself looking back, retracing the steps of our path paved with countless hours of dedication, the echoes of our discussions still ringing within the walls of our office. But what struck me more intensely was the change around me. The dawn of each day held promises and challenges, all waiting to be embraced by us. The ingenuity of our team, their determination, their undying will to create, kept the startup buzzing with palpable excitement. The air was a whirl of relentless energy. The spirit of forging ahead and shaping the vision of Neural Nest was omnipresent. Often my gaze would wander across the window, landing on the Seoul skyline glittering against the setting sun, the orange hues reflecting on millions of dreams like our own. This city was the perfect backdrop for innovators like us building on advancements in AI. I thought about San Francisco, my early days in the tech firm, and how it all led me to Seoul, to Neural Nest. The city I had left behind was just as responsible for the product that was now encapsulating the heart of my birthplace, Seoul. This journey wasn't linear. It was a winding path full of unexpected turns, steep rises and humbling falls. But that's how we learn, how we adapt, and how we keep striving for the uncharted territories. After reaching the peak of one mountain, it was time to climb the next. Reaching out to the world had just begun, and there was still a long way to go, a lot still left to achieve. The energy in our Seoul office was magnetic, an electrifying fusion of ideas, ambition, and a shared dream. Each day was a new chapter, a fresh slate for us to inscribe our shared vision on. I was surrounded by equally passionate minds, each bringing their unique strengths, each contributing their all to sustain our creation's heartbeat. The city of Seoul, with its deep-rooted culture and rapidly growing technology landscape, fueled our endeavors. The city lights often mirrored the hopes of millions like us, innovators, creators, dream chasers. Each twinkle was like a silent nod, an affirmation that every ounce of effort, every sleepless night was leading us towards something impactful. There were countless instances when I would be gazing at the city's skyline after a long day, with the exhilarating buzz of the startup still lingering in the air, and found myself reflecting. My mind would wander back to the city by the bay, those early days in San Francisco. And how those very days, those experiences had brought me here, to my birthplace, to Seoul. The irony was bittersweet, having left behind one city to return to another, only to create something that futuristically encapsulated the essence of both. It was a blend of the past and the future, of San Francisco and Seoul, of experiences and dreams, all meticulously woven into the fabric of Neural Nest. The journey thus far was far from linear, but filled with abrupt turns, uphill climbs, and even moments of free fall. Yet each curve, each rise, and every setback were the very elements that had given our journey its unique identity, its unforgettable flavor. And so, as we ventured further, each footfall on the uncharted terrain felt confident, poised, a step towards the new, the undiscovered. We had only just scratched the surface, and there was an entire ocean of potential patiently waiting to be explored by us. No longer was it about reaching the summit of a single mountain, but about conquering ranges after ranges. For every peak reached was the base of another, the start of a fresh conquest. The subsequent year was packed to the brim with a flurry of developments. Achieving the series. Our funding was not merely a financial breakthrough, it breathed new life into us all. Just as we rang in the new year, I celebrated my 29th birthday, marking another personal milestone along this winding journey. The day was spent in the company of my dedicated and hard-working team, who had become more like a family to me. And friends, old and new, all bound together by the shared dreams we held. My birthday wasn't the only milestone we celebrated that year. We were inching closer to an achievement we had been tirelessly working towards, launching our first product. Labor of love, sweat, and countless midnight oil-burning sessions, we were finally ready to present it to the world. We were a bundle of nerves and anticipation, but immeasurable pride too. Knowing the amount of collective effort that went into creating something that had the potential to transform lives around the world was an overwhelming thought. Every line of code, every feature designed, every product enhancement, all of it had a piece of us in it. As we prepared to launch, I found myself marveling at the journey we had all taken. All the highs and the lows, the hurdles we overcame, the sacrifices we made, and the relentless pursuit that led us to this day was a testament to our shared passion, our endurance, and tenacity. For us, this launch didn't just symbolize the release of a product, but it was a manifestation of all our experiences, our dreams, our toil, and our unwavering faith. It was a reflection of us, as individuals and as a team. And as the day of the launch neared, I could feel the electric buzz, that inexplicable sensation of being on the brink of something big. What even, we didn't know yet, but we knew we were stepping into new territories that held the promise of incredible opportunities. Despite the frantic pace we'd been maintaining, these were the moments I lived for. The quiet pause just before the unveiling, the anticipation hanging heavy in the air like the final note of a symphony right before the applause. How often we overlook these instants of transience. The beauty moulded in the cusp of the transformation. Between what we were and what we would become, we existed, joyous, a body of creators poised on a precipice. The product was an embodiment of our dreams and sweat, unabashedly raw and unpretentiously us. I remember standing there, absorbing the hum of the activity around me, when an obscure insight struck me with its sheer simplicity. I realized that each line of code, each minute detail, bore witness to a journey that went beyond the realm of codes and algorithms, beyond even us. It encapsulated us, as individuals, as a team. It was the dawn at the end of long nights, the resolution of disputes, the solution devised for the most insurmountable challenge, and the sentiment of kinship fostered through shared joys and adversities. Each bug fixed, every glitch dealt with, was a testament to our determination, the defining moments that had shaped us. Product features were but tangible artifacts of lived experiences, narratives of triumphs and failures that had woven an inseparable tapestry of shared resilience. As the day neared, you could taste it, a strange blend of excitement and nervousness, the electric buzz that seemed to ripple through the air. The gentle, almost imperceptible undercurrent of knowing we were standing on the edge of uncharted territories, promising, full of unforeseeable opportunities. Yet to be digested, yet to be fathomed. But within all that promise lay the thrill of venturing into the unknown.